Can we hear me?
Yes, you are muted before, but we can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's like the pivot table in Excel. Okay. So if I'm looking at so we've got rows, we've got values, and there is the columns part. We can drag maybe the year into that columns part. So if I grab year from the date table and I put it in here, let's see how that would pan out. Okay. So we can see 2018, 19, 20, 21 by product subcategory. We can see, how they did, the camcorders, the projectors in each year, and the totals for each of the products. So we've got the row total as well as the column total. So if you want the total for all of them by year, we have it there. But if you want total for each of the product subcategories, you can have it there. Please mute if you are not talking. Okay. So those ones were, yes, the ones we did yesterday where it was saying review, but if you don't want to, go with the way of slicer, we could actually have just, because this is working for this, we could actually have used matrix, to display that, and then we can just drag country. That is another way to show that you are reviewing by country, So we could just have dragged country into the columns, to see how each of those did over for each of the country, although it's quite long, but that was a way that one could have shown it. Although in this case, there's too many countries to show. Okay,
You can
but
record now, Sister Debbie, if you want.
I'm sure I'm recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. Yeah. So reviewing by something could, I think I would actually prefer to go by using matrix to review. But it worked better where the number of items in your columns are not as many, because look at the other one when I try to review by country, because we've got so many countries, and why not? We could actually have changed it the other way around so that we have a channel in the where we have countries. So if we bring channel here and we take countries up there, so that way it will present better. That way it will present better. So it's all your call, the way that you want your presentation to, to go. So we can just see from here, United States for catalog, they had that much. Online, they had that much, reseller and store, and we can see France, we only have reseller and store, and so on and so forth. And if you don't want the total to show, if you are not really after any of the totals, you can always come into here to switch off, whatever you want to switch off here. So this is you reviewing by country. This was, what was this visual about? It was was it total quantity? Total quantity, total order quantity, yes, by channel reviewed by country. So I just thought of that not quite long ago. Right, sorry about that. So yes, and the other question, the last of them, of the questions, is that we should review, it's still total profit, but by manufacturer. Okay, so I can just copy this actually. Copy and then paste that and drag that out, you know. And instead of product subcategory here, I need the manufacturer. Okay, so we can see by manufacturer, and I'm reviewing by year still, you know, and it says that we should review by year, and there's something else that was said here. Filter both by country and by year. Actually, okay, I see. The other one is by manufacturer and by so yes, those are the ways that we could do this. I believe that question was answered. Now, the next part is we now want to start to arrange and make this more presentable than it is at the moment. This is where your creativity now comes in and your storytelling, For example, total sales, everything total sales here, I've used this water blue color, to depict anything that sells, and green for total transaction, whatever I'm slicing by, as long as it's total transaction, it's not easy for me to just use blue for the sales here, because we need to see the different colors that will represent different years, so that's why I'm leaving this like this. And total profit, I'm using this dark gray, to depict, and to even help this further, I could actually decide to align these so that, this is directly under here, so somebody can easily pick that. And the green one, which is the second one here, can come here. And the last one is the total profit, one can use that rationale to make the arrangements there. Okay. Let's see. So a few changes that we can make with our. So I want to look at the effect. I can play with transparency here and decide to just, make it disappear, 100% transparency. If I don't want it to show that, if I want it to just look like it's floating, and if that's not what I want, I can actually go back into that effect and maybe use 50% transparency. So and that just sort of, it's not completely blending, but there's a bit of a difference in the two, the background color and this color, So I mean, that's the one choice that one can make, and one can do that. Let me see if I don't want to copy. Okay, I can't. I wanted to see if I can copy the formatting here, but it will change the color. So it means I would have to, do my 50% effects, transparency, one after the other, so that they all look the same in terms of how they appear. Okay, so next time, to save time, what I should have done first was, do all these 50% bits out of the way before choosing the colors, what I mean by that is, okay, so if I had painted this like that, you see that the color changed to blue, and done this like that. So had it been that I've done my 50% transparency first, that would have been quicker. Then I can then do the color afterwards, rather than going back there, to get that sorted. I don't think that was captured well. Is that 50% at all? Doesn't look like it to me. Effects. Yeah, I knew it didn't capture that 50 for that one. Okay. So then I can now consider, my colors. So I'll put this back to green. Is a call out value. So it's this green color for that one. And for profits, I use the gray color. So dark gray, where's the dark gray? I think I've lost it from here. Do I have it here? Okay, that's the color code. Okay, so more colors. Have I picked? Yeah, okay, I've picked the right one. So if we go into here and paste that code in, okay, so that works. I mean, that might be the way you want to do your color coding, or you might decide that it's the background that you want to use for this color instead of the font. So the fact that the background for this one is the blue, you know, so it's the background that's the blue, while I just use black. If I use the background as blue and the font, I decide that the font is black so that that shines out, you know. So it's a matter of choice. It's what you want. And I can decide that the color of the font will be black as well. And the background will be the green one. I don't know if that makes it easier to understand, or if it beautifies it any further. But yeah, it's like I always say, it's your call. As long as everything you are doing is within how the workplace specifies it, then you have no problem at all. Where's the bold? Yeah, let's bolding that up as well. So if I play around with that one and I decide that the effect of it is the dark gray, which is these, okay, that's not too bad. I mean, the color is still coming out as it should. And sales here, these and these can be the same. So I'm going to copy the format of that one, you know. So you can decide that that's the way you want, you know, yours to show. And this one side, I don't always like a white background for my tiles. So I want a bit of drama with it, a little bit, if not, however small, you know. Even if it's just the transparency that I'm playing around with, it sort of brings something to it. It's my belief, you know. So it's this one I need, and the same goes for this. So I believe all of those backgrounds rhyme now. Okay. All right. So then we can then work on the fonts. This is not really showing well, the font on this slicer. So if I go for value or slicer header, actually, if I go for the slicer header and I increase the font a little to show that that is here, maybe bolding it as well, you know, and the value too. So maybe increase that a little, bolden it. Is that a black color? Okay. So, and I can copy that across all of the slicers, you know. And for this, the title is total sales by month and year, okay? So the title already tells us what this is. And if we look at the axis, the x-axis, that we've got the axis title, month. I mean, anyone looking at this January, February, March already knows this is month. So we don't have to have it there. So I'm going to switch off that title. And the same goes for total sales here as well, you know, because the title already tells us that it's total sales. So I'm going to switch off those titles so that it's cleaner and it's there's more space to display you know, to display our work. And this gray doesn't always work for me. So I like to have a black font rather than gray on a white background. Okay, so title for the x-axis is going off. Okay, so you see that the months disappeared. And maybe, and for the y-axis, the title goes off as well. And the value should increase a little, and the color is darkened. And let's see, okay, maybe it's the bold, making it bolder, you know, that works well. The x-axis title, let's make that bold as well. Okay, I mean, let's try, because unless we use tooltip to actually know the value of each data point, it's not very obvious. So let's see what would happen if we use data labels. So I'm coming here to switch data labels on to see if we can easily see, you know, how that would display. So if I switch on the data labels, so we can see what each of these values are. If this works for you, if this is what we want to go with, then there's no need to have this x-axis at all. So it's what should we decide? Should we leave the axis on and use tooltips, or should I leave these data labels on, or should I off it? Which one is less confusing for anyone looking at this now? Can we still hear me?
Yes, we can. The figures are overlapping each other, so the lines are overlapping each other.
Yeah.
So I don't think the data labels will work well here.
Okay.
That's my opinion, though.
No, I totally agree as well. If this was just one line that we are dealing with, I would have gone with the data label. But because there's different lines and, you know, there's too many numbers to look at the same time, then it makes it all too rowdy, you know. And when the brain has too many things to try and decipher at the same time, it can be somehow, you know, confusion can set in. We can work on our legend as well. At the moment, is on the top left corner. Let's try the middle. Top center. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Why not? So that's less hidden. And the title of the graph as well. The title, you can change the title here, and the alignment of it as well. You can align it right there if you so desire. Okay. So I think that looks a little more readable than what we had before. And I think if you want to make those years bolder, we're still in the legend section. No. Okay, let me go back to legend, and let's bolden that the text up a little. Okay, it's gray. So if we darken it, if we bolden it as well, okay, so that's a little more usable, more user-friendly to the eyes, you know. Yeah. So I think that's clean enough, as clean as it can be, you know. And we can do the same for this as well. This says total sales by product name. Okay. So you can decide to just, you know, change the title and make it just total sales by product instead of having that name part there. By products is fine, I believe, you know. And the color is fine. That can also be middle aligned, you know. we can switch off, because again, we know that this is product name, this is sales. We can switch off those those axes as well, so that we have more axis title, we have more space to display what we are displaying. X-axis can go off as well, okay? And then the values can, I don't know why by default is gray, So, but let's have it like that so that we know there's something there. And even the X-axis can completely go, because thank you for the reminder, we can actually use data labels very successfully here. So if I switch off the X-axis completely, I'm switching off the value. So we see those bars more easily. And then if I go into our data labels and switch these data labels on, so we can see what each bar, represents. And in that data label, we can do more formatting there, So we want to apply the setting we want to do now onto all of them. If you want it for not all, sometimes it displays each one, but there's quite a few. Okay, so what position do we want? At the moment, it says auto. Do you want it to be inside end like that? Do you want to be inside like that, or outside end? Or so you can play around inside center, whichever one you want. I always prefer the inside end, to be honest. And these values in millions, if that's not what you want, you can tell it to remove. You can tell it to remove the it's auto. You don't want any units, so that the actual values are displayed. We can bolden that up as well, make it more obvious. You can change the color to a dark one, because that white seems to be not to be too obvious. You can increase the font as well a little. It's your call. I see that there is decimal places to it, is it? So we can remove the decimal places from here, I believe. Yes, yeah. So I switched off decimal places. We don't want decimal, and that looks a bit better than how we started, and the same goes for this as well, So sometimes it's good to do, before I considered the different colors for them, I think I would have been better off to do all these bits I just did and just copy the formatting straight here, so that I don't have to do all of that all over again. The same thing goes for here. Then I can change the color as I want, So I'm just going to have to bring the color back. I don't know why the data label did not show on this one. Yeah, it's not showing for this one for some reasons. But let me have the bar color back first. Then we can be figuring out what changed there.
I think if you expand it a bit, it should.
It will show. Okay. Thank you. And this one is the dark gray. And for the dark gray, we can use the data label can be white so that it shows, because right now it's gone in. It's disappeared with the, yeah, that's a little better. It's disappeared with the, okay, so if we expand this more, okay, I see what you mean. But I don't have much space here. Let me see if I can cheat this a little. Okay, that's being stubborn. It's not really showing still, but it's normally it shouldn't disappear, to be honest. Let me see if I can do something with instead of inside end, if we can, for this one, bring it to the inside center. It's still not showing. That's interesting. Let me switch it off and on it again. If that would work. Okay. Did you notice that when I switched that off, it expanded a little? So you may be right. Let me bring this out and expand completely and see what would happen. Come on, don't be that slow. It's still not showing though, despite expanding it that much. But anyway, we know it's there. It's there somewhere. You said?
It's turned off.
What color do you have? What color?
It's
It's turned
the
off.
black color. Is it on? Oh, I turned it off. Okay. It's the black color font. Because if I, where is it again? It's the black color. Yeah. So it should actually show. But it's not showing for some reason. So I can't really explain why that is misbehaving. Or is it? Oh, I think I might have filtered something here. Might have messed about with something around here. I'm trying to return this to its position. Take this back. Okay. I mean, if we play around with it a little, because I see that even this one did not pick all of the formatting. This is supposed to not be showing. So this is supposed to be none. Let me see if, yeah, this might be the problem. No, it's not. Okay, it's still not showing despite changing that. And it's not showing for some here either. You know, could it be total transaction? It can't be the number. It can't be because of the number of the actual units of the number, can it? Values, decimal places 0, 0. So I've changed everything that needs changing on this, but it's still not showing. So but we get the gist. I'm not going to waste too much time on that right now. I'll see if I've got the time and have a look at it later. But yes, and then one can just do a bit of rearranging this, bring this down a little, you know, and maybe bring your logo and the title of this page. You know, you can title, instead of page 1, you can call it whatever it is, you know, what name perfectly captures what you have displayed here. You know, one can do that. And then we can come here and, you know, do right by what we have here as well. But yes, that's all we've got time for